Made. And trust me, each one is going to hit differently. But before we even hear them, notice how calm the setup is. That's the calm before a very emotional storm.
Before I begin, how many people will be making a statement?
Three.
We will go on the record in the matter 24 CF79, State of Wisconsin versus James Brown. The state appears through District Attorney James Renicky in person. We have Mr. Brown appearing in person with counsel Eric Pangburn. We're set here today in this matter for a plea and sentencing hearing. The parties have reached an agreement. Mr. Renicky, can you please recite the agreement? Well, first, is there a plea questionnaire waiver of rights form?
There is.
I would note I did review the instructions that I have on my computer, but I wasn't able to print them, but we did review them. So
All right.
I apologize that they're not attached.
That is okay. Can you please recite the agreement for the record?
My client is going to enter a plea of guilty to counts 1, 6, and 8. The remaining counts are to be dismissed and read in. We're recommending 3 years probation. We didn't discuss any specific conditions of probation. I assume that the court will order what it thinks is appropriate based on the facts. We're not asking for the court to order any additional incarceration.
Pause here. The defense is pointing out Mr. Brown already spent 96 days in jail pre-trial. This is often used as a bargaining chip in plea deals. But here's the question. Does time served really balance out the weight of 14 felony charges?
Based on the fact that Mr. Brown did spend 96 days in jail, unable to post a cash bond in the file that was this case before it was dismissed and refiled.
All right. Okay. Mr. Renicky, this is a very serious case. There are 14 felonies, predominantly H felonies with some I felonies and 2 G felonies, making this very serious. 3 of those H felonies are attempts. It has been a global offer with regards to these charges, down to 3 counts, 1 H felony, actually 2 H felonies, and an I felony. Can you please state for the record how this agreement is in the public
interest. That's the magic phrase prosecutors use to justify a plea deal. But here's the thing, public interest for who? For the victims, for the court schedule, or just to avoid a long, expensive trial?
interest?
I believe it's in the public interest, Your Honor, because we're getting a conviction on 3 serious felonies. The defendant does not have a criminal record. It has fairly unique facts to the case. This was a what I would say, jurisdictional investigation. And in terms of the underlying behavior, we think the 3 felonies that he's pleading guilty to adequately cover the actual facts of what happened. And he's taking responsibility not only for the 3 counts that he's pleading guilty to, but he's also agreeing to the dismissed and read-in counts, which can be considered at sentencing. And so, therefore, we do believe it's in the public interest.
And you are in victims' rights compliance, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Before I proceed with a plea or taking a plea and moving on to sentencing, I'm going a little bit out of order as I would like to have the victim statements. Ms. Bauer? Yes, please go to that table over there. You can either state your name and or occupation if you wish, or just your initials.
Okay. Noah Lucas Barker, Deputy Burnett County Sheriff's Department.
And here we go, the first victim statement. Listen closely. This isn't just about facts. This is about the lingering psychological wreckage left after a single night.
So in the late morning of July 2nd, 2023, I came home from work. I parked my squad car, walked inside my house, and took off my uniform like I always do. I laid in bed and stared up at the ceiling, thinking about what had just happened. I did not regret my actions. I knew what I had done was what we all trained for as law enforcement. Still, I lay there with my mind racing. Did I do everything I could have? Were there other options I could have chosen? I kept telling myself my partners were alive, EMS and fire were still alive, Mr. Brown was still alive. I told myself my wife and daughter still had a husband and father. Over the next couple days, I received numerous calls and texts asking how I was. My response was always the same. I'm fine. I'm glad everyone's okay. I'll see you guys soon. But I was not okay. I was not myself. I did not feel like myself. I would look in the mirror and see an emotionless, pale human that I did not recognize. I was off for work for around 3 weeks. I spent that time trying to distract myself, seeing friends, working on the house, and visiting family. When I did return, I did not feel the same. The world looked different. Work felt different. I caught myself second-guessing decisions I made on the job. I caught myself handling calls for service differently than I had before. Over time, the numbness subsided, and I began to see myself in the mirror again. Work and life carried on, and the memory of July 2nd was not always in the forefront of my mind. And now we are here today. In the words of Haile Selassie, throughout history, it has been the inaction of those who could have acted.
That quote, "The inaction of those who could have acted," is a brutal gut punch. It's more than a statement. It's a public accusation that probation equals letting evil walk free.
The indifference of those who should have known better, and the silence of the voice of justice when it mattered most, that has made it possible for evil to triumph. It is my belief that only 3 years probation for Mr. Brown is allowing evil to triumph. Mr. Brown, due to your actions that night, I made a decision I never thought I would have to make in law enforcement. Your actions took a part in my humanity I will never get back. I hope you find the help you need. Thank you.
Ms. Bauer. Please state your name and/or your initials before beginning.
Corey Ray Barnett. I'm the Chief of Grantsburg Fire Department.
Now it's the fire chief's turn, and he's bringing a lifetime of trauma into this courtroom. Combat tours, recovery, rebuilding his life, and in one night, all of it unraveled.
July 2nd, 2023 has set me back years. Let me explain. As a Marine, I was deployed to different combat zones and spent a little over 3 years of my life fighting against foreign enemies. I was wounded a few times and once critical, but due to great field doctors, I pulled through. I have seen more in my lifetime than anyone should ever have to. I was single, didn't have children, so I accepted that there was a high probability that I would either be killed in action or scarred for life. I have the physical scars as a reminder of what happened, but the mental scars never go away. When I came home and left the Marines, we were shown the door and expected to adapt back to civilian life. I spent years coping with the physical and emotional pain with alcohol. I never thought I had a problem. I was fine. Once I met my current wife, she saw what I couldn't. She saw the pain. She saw the nightmares and fighting in my sleep. She saw I was drinking to cope with everything as a self-medicating strategy. Only after she became pregnant with our first child, I started to seek help from the VA and trying to put my life back together and become a contributing member of society. There are many ups and downs with my recovery, but with time, things started to get better. I joined the fire department in 2010 and started to put efforts into the community that I lived in. I continued my healing by being in veterans groups,